All right, in this episode, we're joined by Miss Heather Dye, class of 2018. Heather, how are you?
Good.
Good. All right, so I want you to think back a few years. Uh, why did you come to early college?
Well, I wanted the education that it provided more than just regular high school, an advancement into college classes to get me where I wanted to be faster was ideal. So I didn't really even know that the school was out there until I got in my last year of middle school and got the offer letter for the interview. And then after that, it was like I just hoped for the approval. And when I got it, I was so excited.
Excellent. Well, we're glad you decided to join us. All right, so you get the acceptance letter. You're off to Bridge Week. I'm sure one of the most memorable 3 days of your life. We still do all the same games, same activities, same everything. You get through that, you start your classes. And freshman year, it's high school only.
Mhm.
What was the transition like going from middle school classes to high school classes?
It was pretty difficult. I know in middle school, there wasn't a whole lot of explanation as to what to expect in regular high school, but also having it so compacted at early college to ensure that we got the best education, but also the best leadership. And to set us up for success to start the college classes, it was a lot at first. But once like the first semester was kind of over, it pretty much got easier.
So kind of figured stuff out. All right, so sophomore year, you start taking some college classes. Yeah, my class, well, classes. Uh, Looking back, that was the first time I ever taught leadership. Did you learn anything from that class?
From leadership,
Yeah.
oh, I still use the stuff I've learned in that class. It kind of ties into what I do now. Like I had messaged you a while back about one of the lessons that you taught was about a book being like your driver of your own bus, and I use that with my patients that I deal with now in my current role.
Love it. That's Energy Boss by John Gordon. Fantastic book. Glad to hear it worked out. That class also had the opportunity to do some service, which I think for your group turned out pretty well, didn't it?
It did. We went back to Loris Middle School and I believe high school or maybe just the middle. But it was a couple of me and my fellow classmates that whose also base school is Loris, and we ended up doing an anti-bullying presentation, which was around the time of a sad situation. So it kind of touched a lot of hearts.
Excellent. Service should meet the need. And I think on that one, it definitely did.
Did.
All right. So you start taking those college classes. Junior year, you're starting to see more college classes. How did Avid best prepare you for success in those college classes?
The organization alone and like the binder checks. I don't know if that's still a thing, but like just making sure that you're taking your notes, you're getting the valid points, you're having the assignments that you should, but also maintaining like your organization, maintaining your schedule, understanding your schedule, which is I think is huge, being able to time manage and make sure that you can get everything done that you need to.
I love that idea of understand your schedule. I don't think I've ever heard it put that way, but it makes sense. When you understand your schedule, now you can prioritize, you know what's most important, what's not. Uh, I love that. Understand your schedule or understand your calendar. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you pick up those skills. Senior years, primarily college classes. What were you majoring in back at Tech?
So I had actually went at first for English. I wanted to be a teacher, but when I got to my senior year and it was kind of ending towards that, where we would eventually finish off and get our associates around the same time of our diploma, I had an internship. It didn't really go how I wanted it to. And the principal at the time, Principal Fleming, me and her had to sit down and we kind of reviewed like what I wanted to do. And she actually was the one that pointed me in the direction I am now, which switched my major over to human services.
Okay. And I like that idea too. To be able to talk to an administrator or
Yeah.
guidance, and at any point throughout your journey there, even after, people are still there, and we're still trying to get you in the right direction, what works best for you and what you want to do. I love that. All right, so you switch over to human services. Um, then what?
So then I focused more on that senior year. I didn't finish it during senior year, obviously, but went back after I graduated from tech, got my associate's degree in 2019, so only a little bit after graduation. Then after that, I transferred into CCU and got my bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor of social justice.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was mainly focusing on, it was kind of a branch of human services, just focusing on like equality, inequality, like what society does to somebody, just focusing on that kind of field. Um, and so with that, after that, I kind of just went into the workforce and now here I am.
What are you doing now?
So now I am a substance abuse counselor at a methadone facility. And I have about 56 patients who are struggling, either currently struggling with addiction or are in recovery from addiction. And they come to me for therapy.
What's your greatest struggle in that position?
Um, just trying to maintain time management well, because with a caseload that big, it's often that I have more patients coming at one time, or one patient wants to reschedule to the next day. So it kind of leads me back to Avid in early college and being organized, knowing I have another opening for a patient to come if they can't sit with me that day. So just rearranging constantly because there's never a set schedule with them.
Right. It's a lot of them. And I'm sure they all need your attention, your full attention, to get where they need to be. What is the greatest joy you find in your job?
Oh, there's so many. I love like being able to help the people that are currently struggling with addiction, being able to tell them that they've got their first like illicit free drug screen. They've been able to push through all their struggles, or they're able to get their GED, or they're able to just accomplish these goals that I help them set with their treatment plans, and being able to see the joy on their faces. It's extremely like just refreshing.
I bet. All right, two very important questions. Number one, what advice do you give the freshmen or the incoming freshmen, class of 2029, not to make you feel too old, but class of 2029? Uh, they get their acceptance letters here on March 17th. At least that's when they're mailed out. What advice do you give them? And then what advice do you give that senior who's finishing up senior year?
For the freshmen, I would say not to get so much in their head. It can be a lot, um, but it really all just works out if you communicate, if you ask for help. Ask for help is the biggest thing I tell anyone, even now. Just if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't let it get to you. I know like people can come to their advisors, people can come to trusted teachers, people can come to the principals. Just ask for help, because I know it is a difficult thing to manage both high school and college, and you're doing it at such a fast pace that it may seem overwhelming, but it really is manageable.
Good advice. What about
And
those
then
seniors?
for the seniors, I would say it's okay to start over. Like when I didn't know what to do after I went through that internship for teaching, and like having that conversation with the principal at the time. It was just really, it felt like everything was for nothing, but it wasn't. And I'm better for it.
Love it. Good stuff. All right, last question. What is your favorite memory from your time at early college?
That's a hard one.
I know.
there
Well, I
was
saved it for last.
there's so many. Um, just the laughter. I mean, there was always laughter in different classes, like Miss Wilson's our statistics class, your leadership class, even your gov and econ class. I mean, is especially the financial project that you did, and then we all had to present. Um, or like even just creating our junior exhibition gave you a chance to kind of relish all of your accomplishments and everything.
Cool. I know that was a hard question. Those questions get harder as we get another year older. I was thinking about it. I taught that class probably 2016, uh, which I don't know if you know is like a decade ago almost now.
I know you don't have to remind me.
That's crazy. Uh, but you were the guinea pigs for that leadership class, and I thank you for that. I've taught it a few times since. Um, it's almost probably become one of my favorite classes.
I think after it held it was pretty high on my pedestal, and for me to kind of still use the material that you used then, and I don't know if you know this or not, but one of the quotes from that book that we mentioned previously was actually on my high school graduation cap. So it
That's
it
right.
definitely like touched home for me, and I love that I'm able to use it now. I have like the 10 rules of the book hanging up in my office for my patients to look at because it's always just a good reminder for them.
I love that. That's great. He does have some other books that are tied to it with similar characters if you're interested. All right, Heather, that'll do it. We thank you for joining us. It's good to see you as always. Keep changing lives.
Yeah,
You're a rock
thank
star.
you.
Yeah.